What would you do if someone you once called family and handed your child over to kidnappers? Celeste Thorne came back from the pain that destroyed her. This time, she knew who the traitor was. Knew exactly who once held her hand in tears, only to shove her into hell the moment she turned her back. But knowing is one thing, facing it is another. Among familiar eyes and sweet words, who was truly on her side? This isn't just the story of a missing child. It's a journey of stripping away the masks of family, of friendship, and of love. Chapter 2. The Ones Who Stayed Silent. The story begins here. When Lucas arrived at the police station, I had just stepped out of the waiting room, the scent of grilled smoke still clinging to my clothes. He ran straight toward me, panic in his eyes. "Where is she? Where's Melody?" I didn't answer. I threw myself into his arms like a reflex. My face buried in his chest, the sobs erupted from me like they were the only survival instinct I had left. It was Lena. She kidnapped her. For ransom. I felt Lucas's body freeze for a beat. Lena? No way. She's not the type to... His voice was low, confused. But what made my skin crawl wasn't what he said. It was his eyes void of any ripple, no rage, no shaking hands, no instinct to protect me. Just perfect emptiness, like he had rehearsed this reaction 1,000 times. Inside the interrogation room, Lena screamed through tears, "Sis, I'm sorry, I didn't know Cody would actually do it." I was just joking. I stared into her eyes, my voice cold and steely. "If anything happens to Melody, you'll pay with a lifetime behind bars." It wasn't a threat, it was a vow. Lena collapsed over the table, sobbing. But I felt nothing. No anger, no hatred, just hollow, like an empty shell. The police kept her for investigation. Lucas took me home. And just like that, the curtain began to lift. That night, I sat in the old kitchen, hands clenching a cup of cold tea. Camille Hartley dropped by with a hot soup container, her eyes tired, yet probing. "You really hid Melody?" Camille asked, only after making sure we were alone. I nodded. "And let Lena be taken in?" "Yes. And I don't regret it." Camille sank into the chair, hands trembling. "I know you're in pain, but this is Lena. You once told me she was the only one you couldn't bear to hurt." I let out a dry laugh, one that hurt more than crying. That was in a different lifetime. "You really hid Melody and pushed Lena to the cops?" I couldn't tell Camille I had lived another life. But I told her what I knew from before, in half-truths, half-veiled words. Lena had slowly destroyed my life. And Lucas, he wasn't innocent. Camille froze. "I told you before. Lucas, he never felt real." I remembered the times he said Camille was jealous, trying to break us apart, and I believed him. So much that when Camille got into an accident, I didn't even go to the hospital. I looked at her for a long time, this woman, who once cried silently when I spoke cruel words, who lay paralyzed in bed for 5 years, and I never visited once. I once loved someone so blindly, Camille. But not anymore. I hugged her, and the tears came again. I won't keep sacrificing for people who don't deserve it. Not again. Camille held me tightly. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel alone. "Where is she?" Camille asked gently. "At Harper Shack." Ryan's looking after her. Camille went stiff. "Ryan Harper? The guy who followed you around for years? Almost stole Lucas's wife?" I laughed. At least he truly loved me. And when I needed help, he didn't hesitate. I met Ryan at Lucas's auto shop, when he was still an apprentice bowing and calling Lucas boss. Orphaned young, surviving on instinct but with a heart that was strange. He once lived with my husband and me, ate my cooking, wore the clothes I bought. I pitied him, so I treated him like family. Then one day he said, "Sis, I only love one person, just one. All my life it's only you." I thought it was a joke, a betrayal. But when I lost my child, he was the only one who didn't let go. 20 years, he followed me quietly everywhere, without a title, without asking for anything. Even when I lay dying on my hospital bed, he stayed. That night, I messaged Ryan, "Is everything okay at the house?" 3 seconds later, he replied, "All good. The little one's safe. You can rest easy." The next day, my father called. Same voice, gentle but always wrapped in pressure. "Celeste Thorne, you can't hurt your sister. Family is family." I chuckled, a laugh that even I found hollow. "She kidnapped my daughter, Dad. She's no sister of mine. And if you both want to side with her, then don't call me your daughter anymore." That midnight, they knocked on my door. They'd come to Millstone on a long bus ride, and before they could speak, I let the tears fall and poured out the anguish of 2 lifetimes. "You always said I had to give in because I was the older one, but I gave in until I lost my child. What more do you want me to give?" They were speechless. My mother tried to soften. "If we can't stick together, this family will fall apart." I looked at them, and for the first time, I wasn't angry, just tired. "If keeping this family means trading away my daughter's tears and mine, then I don't want it." They stayed. Claimed they were taking care of me, but spent their days at the town hall auditorium, handing out meals to the police, playing the role of kind grandparents. Not once did they go out to search for her. A week passed. Melody still couldn't show herself in public. I turned on my phone, started a live stream. "Hi everyone. My name is Celeste Thorne. My daughter is 5. She's missing. And I won't stop until I find her." Lucas tried to dodge. I made him sit with me. "We are her parents, and only real grief from real parents will make people believe and help." He hesitated. "What if we spook them? What if they kill her?" I stared into his eyes. "Then what's your plan? Wait for them to return her like she's a wrongly delivered package?" I told everything on that live stream. The sleepless nights, the sweat-drenched nightmares, the cries of mommy echoing in the dark, jerking me awake every time the wind howled against the roof. I didn't say these things to gain sympathy. I said them to demand justice. If the world won't side with my child, then I'll make it lean our way. Some pain isn't about what happened, but about who stayed silent while it did. Celeste once thought coming back was enough to change fate, but the deeper she walked into the past, the more she saw the one who hurt her most wasn't always the one holding the knife. In her quest to find her daughter, Celeste must not only confront others, but also face herself, the one who once trusted wrong, loved wrong, and left behind the one who truly stood by her. Thank you for listening to Chapter 2. If you've ever had to choose between blood ties and the harsh truth, feel free to share your thoughts. Because sometimes, just one story can awaken memories long buried. See you in Chapter 3.